Something wild has been happening, and I'm hoping that you guys can maybe enlighten me as to why people go to these extents for Pokemon cards. I used to love collecting cards when I was younger. I collected wrestling cards specifically. I had a little binder. I don't know why I did it. I think I just got a wrestling pack and then there we go. I kept getting them. I don't have that anymore. We've moved away and I lost those. But Pokemon card collecting has been the biggest trend for so long. It's been happening for 30 years, almost 30 years, right? All right, so man bought Pokemon cards, gaming items with company money, sentenced to 4 months. Now, 4 months, hey, that doesn't sound too bad, right? He probably bought like a couple $100 worth of Pokemon cards. I guess that's a decent sentencing for that, right? The slogan, "Gotta catch 'em all," was pertinent to the recent sentencing of an Iowa man who was convicted of defrauding his employer of more than 140,000 US dollars on Pokemon cards and video games. William Gross of Erling, Iowa, was sentenced to 4 months in a federal prison last week after being convicted of wire fraud. Now, 4 months for $140,000 worth of fraud is pretty insane to me because looking it up, apparently federal wire fraud can lead up to 20 years in prison, 30 if it's over a million. This guy didn't steal millions of dollars worth of Pokemon cards. I bet that would have been his wet dream. He didn't get to that point. I'm sure that if he wouldn't have gotten caught, he could have, though, because $146,000 on a company card is insane. That's, again, big balls. Stupid big balls, but big balls nonetheless. According to a press release from Southern District of Iowa, an investigation by the FBI in Des Moines found that between September 2021 and October 2022, Gross defrauded his employer, Ruan Transportation Corporation, by using company credit cards to purchase trading cards, video game accessories, and prepaid gift cards. So essentially, after doing all of that, he made fake receipts, submitted them, hoping that he could get away with it, and obviously he didn't. He got caught, sentenced to 4 months in prison, but he does have to pay back the $140,000 worth of Pokemon cards, which unless you ripped some bangers every single pack, I don't think that that's gonna work out too well for you. Again, it's just really funny to me how often this seems to happen. You can just search up Pokemon card theft, and there's so many to pick from. Suspect arrested after Pokemon cards worth over $100,000 stolen from store. Again, apparently, you either go big or you go home when you're stealing Pokemon cards. There are some cases that are only a couple $100, obviously, but those wouldn't be interesting to talk about. This guy stole $100,000 worth of Pokemon cards, which is fucking insane. In Massachusetts, a man is facing charges after police said he stole collectible Pokemon cards worth more than $100,000. Richard Nunez, 24, was charged with 6 counts of receiving stolen property over $1,200. The burglary happened on July 8th at First Edition Collectibles on Purchase Street in New Bedford around 2:30 a.m. They should rename that street to Theft Street because no one purchased shit that day. They stole $100,000 and made off like thieves, and then they got caught like thieves. The collectible shop did end up getting their cards back, but just to kind of like, this is where I don't understand, and I would love to be educated on it because it seems to be such a big thing that everyone is into and everyone gets but me. I guess I never got into the card trading side of things. But there was a Pokemon box here, base set Unlimited Green Wings booster box, which was worth $30,000, give or take. That's a crazy amount of money for a booster box, and I know that there's multiple card packs in there. I really want to be educated on how they got to be worth so much money. I'm assuming that it's an original box or it's a box from a set that no longer comes out, and there's a really high chance of getting a very rare card when you get a booster box, possibly. Apparently, among the cards was a 1999 Charizard First Edition, which was worth more than $12,000, and then there were two other Charizard cards worth about $10,600 each. So now we're going to hop over to Regina, where recently, on May 7th, two men have been charged and they're looking for a third. Approximately $30,000 worth of trading cards and memorabilia were stolen from a home in the city's southeast. Officers were called to a residence on the Zero block of Meichiner Drive. around 7:45 on April 6 for the report of a break and enter, and were told that two individuals broke into the home and stole the collection. The fact that they just entered the guy's home to steal $30,000 worth of Pokemon cards, it doesn't sound like they took anything else. They must have personally knew this guy. They must have known this is the guy that has the cards. We can get rid of these slickety split, probably get rid of it for a couple grand and get ourselves some crack. That was probably the plan. So there were two 39-year-olds, one of them which was caught, and the 42-year-old which was caught. They were both charged, and they're still looking for the 39-year-old. No info on that, so I guess all's well that ends well. I don't know. Either way, moral of the story, I guess. Pokemon cards, super expensive. I don't know why. Why don't you explain that to me if you want? If not, that's fine, I guess. I mean, yeah, Logan Paul has a card worth apparently $5 million. The only reason I know that is because he was crying because it fell over and it damaged the card. Apparently, it's the most expensive Pokemon card ever sold. But yeah, no, this has been happening a lot more. The theft, not the pushing over of $5 million cards. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thanks.